I went to everything with him from exchanging film early on when you still did that to, I was telling one coach I used to clean the weight room on Sundays because I'd go up there with him. And so I grew up in it. I've been in it a long time, and I was blessed enough to be like my dad's the best football coach I know.
All right, we are here with the head football coach for the Whitehouse Wildcats, Brett Gilchrist. Coach, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. I appreciate you having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about you and how you ended up in Whitehouse. You were hired in December of 2025 after leaving Frisco Lone Star. Just talk to me a little bit about that process and how you ended up in Whitehouse.
Right.
Let your outdoor dreams come to life with Clear Channel Outdoor. You shouldn't have to spend your weekends battling an overgrown lawn, unruly weeds, or other landscape disasters. Instead, enjoy having the best looking yard on the block with full service lawn care from Clear Choice Outdoor. Our lawn service company in Tyler, Texas helps you achieve the perfect lawn. Watch your landscape flourish with our comprehensive lawn maintenance and creative landscape designs. For a quote, head to clearchoiceoutdoor.com or call 903 660 7629.
My wife always said she wanted to live in East Texas, and about Whitehouse because of Patrick Mahomes. And so when the job came open, my head coach at Lone Star was awesome in the process because we were in the middle of the state championship run, and he told me I should go after it. And when I drove into town, I knew it was a place that I wanted to raise my two boys in. It's a tight knit community that the support is super strong, and I interviewed and I was really hopeful that I was going to get the job, and I did, and it was a no brainer. And it's been awesome since I got here.
You mentioned having to worry about trying to find a job while you're going through a playoff run, a state
Right.
championship appearance playoff
Yeah.
run. How difficult is that as a coach to be kind of looking at other jobs while you're still focused on your kids too?
Yeah. I think I can speak to Coach Rayburn's credit on that. Like he was awesome and my biggest supporter, and he was always pushing me to try to become a head football coach. And when the job opened, he gave me his blessing, and he knew I was going to handle my business when it came to getting ready and prepared for Alito in the week. And we ended up pulling out a crazy comeback win, and so it was really fun. And that was an awesome 2 days to get the job on Thursday and then to beat Alito the way we did on Friday. Was awesome. But it's to his credit as a head football coach to have the faith and trust in me, and to push me to do that. I'll always be thankful for him because he could have very easily said, "We're trying to win a semifinal game," and I would have respected it. But he was awesome being able to push me and doing that and allowing me to do it.
Well, and especially against a team like Alito, right? With the
Yeah,
pedigree that they have, it's like a coach like, hey man, I know you're trying to prepare for the future. I need you now. I need you
yeah,
here.
no doubt.
But I think it helps too when your offense is averaging 47 points a game and putting up 467 yards a game.
Right,
You were the offensive coordinator there at Lone Star for 4 years. Tell me a little
right.
bit about that experience and what made that offense so electric.
Well, as a kids, we had great kids. We had four freshmen my first year there that played on the varsity, and those four, it's two offensive guys and two defensive guys. Ryder Mix and Davian Gross were the two freshmen that they started 40 something games to separately, and I think that's pretty awesome in high school football to have that. And when you got Trey Wright at quarterback, and it all makes it all pretty easy. And we had Zach Forbish and all of the offensive linemen, and you got two really good running backs, and then the quarterback like that to make it go. It's pretty easy, and there's some game planning that goes on, but a quarterback like that makes it so much easier. Yeah.
Was that did I hear intercom or something that was
Oh,
going
we still got the bells on. They don't cut the bells off.
on? Even when
Yeah,
school's not in session, you
even
got
when
the
school's
bells.
up.
So we talked about the 4 years at Lone Star. Tell us a little bit about your coaching background before that and kind of how you got into coaching.
Right. Well, I grew up a coach's kid. My dad was my head football coach and athletic director. My mom was the head volleyball coach when I was in high school too. So it's in my blood. My dad and Coach Rayburn worked together at Duncanville, and when I got done playing college ball, I told him I needed a job, and so he called Coach Rayburn. I worked at the middle school at Stafford, which feeds into Lone Star, for 1 year, and then my biggest mentor, Mark Humble, was the offense coordinator at Lone Star for that 1 year. He opened Prosper Rock Hill, and I followed him there for 2 years, and then I had the opportunity to go back to Lone Star as offense coordinator for 4, and then this is my first year here. I think I told everyone I've got 7 years of experience going on 27 because my dad's going into his 27th year. I don't know. He's 28th maybe now, and so I went to everything with him from exchanging film early on when you still did that to I was telling one coach I used to clean the weight room on Sundays because I'd go up there with him, and so I grew up in it. I've been in it a long time, and I was blessed enough to be like my dad's the best football coach I know. And so to be around him and all the football coaches that he surrounded me with to, take their knowledge and learn and just be around, I learned so much from Coach Rayburn, from organization and all the stuff like that to, grow up. I had 7 years coaching, but it's way more than that, I feel like.
Yeah, 7 years, with the actual title, but the
Right.
experience that you've
Yeah.
learned is a lot more. So where did you go to high school at?
I went to Whitney, small little lake town outside of Waco.
Yeah, yeah. And so you mentioned your dad coaching. Is he still coaching now?
Yep. He just opened the newest Prosper school. He's at Prosper
Rocky.
Richmond.
Richland. Oh, Prosper Richland.
Yep.
Okay. I covered them well, I didn't cover them, I don't think, but softball this past season, their
Yep.
softball team was the
He's a state
next game.
championship.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, he's the campus coordinator and head football coach at Prosper Richland right now.
Okay, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And so different classifications. So I don't think y'all will have to face each other, but
Right.
was there any talks of maybe putting them on the non-district schedule so you could
Oh,
face
we
your dad?
tried. If we didn't have an 8-team district, we'd have been on there. It would have been on. We played 6 times. He's got me once, but we took care of business most of the time when I was at Lone Star against him. So
That's all. Well, I hope that matchup gets set down the road. That'd be really cool to see.
Yeah, it'd be a good.
Let's talk about your coaching staff. So, right, when you come into a new school, you obviously you got to assemble a coaching staff and get your people in
Right.
there and get with you. Tell me a little bit about the coaching staff that you got assembled there at Whitehouse.
Right. So my offense coordinator is Jacob Alford. He's a Lindale guy. You know him. He was the first hire I made. I think the offensive line position's the toughest one to coach, and so he's the best in East Texas and the best in the state, I think. And so awesome addition. He's the first guy I thought of. And then my defense coordinator is Coach Coker. I worked with him at Rock Hill for 2 years. I think he's going to be one of the best. Got to steal him from DFW, bring him out here to East Texas, and those are the 2 hires I got to make. I think the staff that I inherited has been awesome. They're bought into the mission and the vision and what we're preaching together. And I think everybody all around, I'm super proud of the staff we have and what everybody's done and grown and bought into what I'm preaching.
We talked about the explosive offense that you had at Lone Star.
Right.
How do you bring that same intensity and that level of offense here to Whitehouse? How can you replicate that?
I mean, it's going to be tough to replicate. The number one thing when it comes to building offenses, and it sounds simple, is you got to get your best kids to do what they're best at the most. And that's why in all 4 years at Lone Star, the offense looked really different. The nuts and the bolts are the same, but it's going to be built around the best kids, the quarterback and the offensive line. And we're going to do what those the 5 guys up front, we're going to do what they can handle. And we're going to do what the quarterback can handle. And then we're going to get the ball to the playmakers in space. And it sounds simple, but you do it and you dress it up and you make it look different each week. And, find out what works and what kind of team you are. And then as it melds, you just try to get a little bit better each week at what you're best at and grow the deficiencies a little bit. It starts with quarterback play. I think you're only going to go as far as your quarterback will take you. And we had 4 different ones at Lone Star that did it 4 different ways. And so this will be the 5th quarterback I've had in 5 years. And so I'm excited about the challenge and the opportunity. I think we're going to be better than a lot of people think.
You mentioned the 5 quarterbacks in 5 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But it is like is it kind of you mold that team to what the quarterback can do well since
Right.
he's kind of the leader of the offense? Do you kind of mold the offense around the quarterback, or do you fill in the positions around the quarterback?
It's the first question's always what can the quarterback do, and then you build it around him. And so the nuts and the bolts, like the verbiage and the way it looks and it works, are always the same. But if he's not a drop back guy, we're not going to drop back. We're going to find out different ways to do it. And if he's not an RPO guy, we're not going to ask him to do it. We'll find different ways to dress it up. And like we had my first year at Lone Star, lost two quarterbacks in 2 games. We bring a safety over. One of my favorite kids ever, Bennett Fryman, who played safety. He plays baseball at Texas State now, and completely different than the 2 kids. We have to flip midseason and build it around him. And he turned into one of the best quarterbacks that I've had. And then you go into Colin Blackstock, and he was different than Bennett. And then Carice Hoyt, who's the #1 athlete in Texas now, doesn't even play quarterback anymore, was my quarterback as a sophomore. And then he's completely different than Trey Wright. And so you just build it around those guys, and you want them to feel comfortable, because at the end of the day, that 15 to 18-year-old is the one taking the snap and getting all the. It could be the best play that you ever thought of or concept. If they don't get it or understand it, then it doesn't matter. It's got to start with them. And then the next question is, what can the offensive line do? Because if they're not good at it, he's not going to be any good. So then after that, the skill positions are, let's get the ball to the athletes in space, essentially. That's the easy part.
Yeah, get the ball to them and let them work.
Right.
Let them see what they can do. So you mentioned that wanting to come to Whitehouse, come to East Texas. Your wife wanted to be in East Texas.
Yeah.
You've been here now for a few months. How's the transition been to East Texas? And now that you've met the kids and everything, how's the school system been?
It's awesome, man. This is a place I could see being forever. Like, I'm winning enough games. Hopefully they keep me around. I have no plans to go anywhere. We love it. My boys love it. It's been awesome. The community has been so receiving of us, and it's exactly what we were looking for. I wanted. It takes a village to raise good humans, I think, and so people to keep eyes on my 2 squirrely ones, and help raise up 2 good, fine young men, and that's what this community feels like, and that's what it's been like for us.
Well, let's talk about this upcoming season for the Wildcats. The Whitehouse has made the playoffs in 3 of the last 5 seasons, but haven't won a playoff game since 2019. So when you're coming into that situation, obviously Whitehouse has had success. They've had some good runs. What's the biggest thing you think to get Whitehouse back into the postseason and get them to winning postseason football games?
I think you just got to get the most out of the kids. Like we're going to do, we have great kids. We have phenomenal kids, great athletes, good football players. We're just going to offense, defensively, and special teams try to build it around them and not make them fit our schemes and just try to get the most out of them. And I think they've bought in. Like, I know they have, and it's been super fun to see the turnaround. And I think we're heading in the right direction. We just got to, have a couple bounces go our way and play some really good football. We've got a tough district.
That was going to be my next question. Let's talk about that district. You mentioned an 8-team district, which gives you just a couple of preseason or non-district games, I should say. But then you're right into the district race, and it is top to bottom, just tough week in and week out. Tell me your thoughts on the district.
Yeah, it is tough. Adding Greenville and Terrell, I think really highly of Coach Sudbury, and then, Coach Stanford and all the guys in the district. Like, we open up with Mount Pleasant, which is going to be a tough one week 4. I think highly Coach Cluey, and everybody's super well coached week in and week out, and you got to stay on top of it. But if you do get in the playoffs, you got a chance to make a pretty good run, and so that's every week's a battle. You got to approach it. I think we might have 7 playoff games leading up to the first round, because it's all they're all important.
Well, if you go with that mindset too, right, then every game's a big game, and then you're prepared for playoffs when it gets there. Last thing I want to ask you, I'll let you get out of here. Earlier this week, former Ark Tiger and current Dallas Cowboys linebacker DeMarvion Overshown came out and talked to the kids.
Yes, sir.
First off, how did that come to be to get him out there? And then secondly, how cool was that to have an NFL athlete talking to your kids like that? What do you think it did for them?
Yeah, so DeMarvion actually went to Kane Elementary, which is in Whitehouse. And so he grew up right down the road from us, and one of his best friends is a coach on our staff. And so he's got Whitehouse ties, and it was awesome to have him out. He got to talk to our kids about overcoming adversity with all those injuries, and then the way he grew up. And he said that, and this is what I took away the most from it: my athletic ability and my size isn't what got me to the league. It was that I was always the first one to the football, and I played with relentless effort, and I was going to outwork everybody. And it was just special for our kids to hear it, because they hear it from us all the time, and it starts to sound like Charlie Brown. And, so to hear it from somebody else like that, who does it the right way, and just to meet him and see how good of a human being he is. I'm a huge Texas fan, so getting to meet him, and I'm a huge Cowboys fan, was awesome, and the kids thought it was too. And so I hope we get to have him out some more. And just I think it goes, kind of unspoken. Like Patrick Mahomes walked these halls, and our kids are kind of numb to it at this point. Like, it's the greatest player in the world went to the same school that you're in, and so it was cool for it to be someone else this time. But it's always special when a guy like that gets to address your team.
It's funny you mentioned that too, because I've done some games at Whitehouse, and you see when you go to the baseball field, right? You got Patrick Mahomes on the back of the thing there.
Right.
And obviously he's got a big presence in Whitehouse, but I think you're right. Like when you see it every day and you live in Whitehouse in Tyler, you get numb to it, right? Like you realize how great he is, but it's kind of eye-opening for somebody that maybe didn't even walk those halls, but has the tie to the community, can still reiterate those same messages. It's got to make it easier as a coach to say, hey, that's what we've been saying.
It's we had a former player too, Josh Green, come out, who's at the Air Force Academy right now. He spoke a couple weeks ago, and so we try to bring people from different backgrounds. Like Josh is going to go try to be a doctor, and he's in the Air Force Academy. And the Air Force Academy is about defending the country, and they're saying the same things we're saying. And then DeMarvion, who has played football at the highest level and is still doing it at the highest level, might be the best Mike linebacker in the league, comes and says the same things that Josh Green just said to the team. And so try to bring those different aspects in. And it was just awesome to hear from him. And, it's awesome that he's a Longhorn too.
Yeah, that helps a little bit, right? Hook them a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, thank you so much for taking the time and talking to us today. And best of luck to you and the Wildcats this season. I'm sure we'll see you out there at the football field.
Yes, sir. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Next Level Digital Advertising has arrived. Grow your business with advanced solutions from one of the largest digital agencies in the country. East Texas Marketing Solutions is a resource for utilizing and executing advanced multi-platform marketing strategies. Discover more at easttexasmarketingsolutions.com. The MLB draft took place this weekend in Philadelphia, and 3 East Texans had their names called. Canton's Ace Reese, Livingston's Damian Ruiz, and Rusk's Ross Davis. Now, Ace Reese was selected in the first round, number 24 overall, to the Seattle Mariners. Reese spent his last 2 collegiate seasons at Mississippi State University, hitting .336 with 24 home runs, 74 RBI, 23 doubles, and 73 runs as a junior, leading the Bulldogs to a Super Regional appearance. And as a sophomore at Mississippi State, Ace was money. He hit .347 with 21 home runs, 64 RBI, 17 doubles, and 56 runs. Reese joined Rafael Palmeiro and Will Clark as the only Mississippi State players to hit 20+ home runs in back-to-back seasons. Now, as a freshman at the University of Houston, Reese made the Big 12 all-freshman team after hitting .278 with 7 home runs, 34 RBI, and 33 runs. In high school, Reese was a 3-time All-State selection for the Canton Eagles. Now, Damian Ruiz was drafted on the second day in the 9th round by the Cincinnati Reds. Ruiz played 1 year with the Razorbacks and played in 54 games, hitting .309 with 5 home runs, 30 RBI, 13 doubles, and 51 runs. He also drew 35 walks and was hit by a team-high 12 pitches. He went 16 for 17 in stolen base attempts and had a 22-game on-base streak. Now, before Arkansas, Ruiz spent 1 season at Lamar University, where he was named Southland Conference Hitter of the Year and first-team All-Southland Conference. Ruiz played in 56 games with the Cardinals, hitting .388 with 7 home runs, 46 RBI, 22 doubles, 2 triples, and 76 runs. He also broke the Lamar single-season record with a 32-game hitting streak. He also set a single-season record by reaching base in 49 straight games, and his 76 runs were a single-season record. After high school, Ruiz spent 2 seasons at Houston Christian University, where he hit .263 with 1 home run, 21 RBI, 9 doubles, a triple, and 25 runs. Now, congratulations to all 3 of these athletes. Like we talked about with Ross Davis, he was selected by the Baltimore Orioles in the 20th round, pick 590. Now, he was a high schooler out of Rusk that was selected. He is committed to San Jacinto Community College, so he can either elect to go to the professional organization and join the Orioles, or he can go to college and re-enter the draft next year. So best of luck to all three of these athletes at the next level. ESPN surveyed NFL executives, coaches, and scouts to rank the top 10 quarterbacks right now in the league. Now, it's not a 5-year projection, but it's who is the best right now. So let's take a look at the list, and I'll give you my thoughts, because there's one name left off this list that I have a problem with. So let's look at it. Number 1, we got the Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen. Number 2 is Whitehouse native Kansas City Chiefs quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Number 3 is a Texas native Los Angeles Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford. Number 4, Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. Number 5 is Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. At number 6 is Dallas Cowboys quarterback Dak Prescott. At number 7 is the Los Angeles Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert. Number 8 has New England Patriots quarterback Drake May. At number 9, we have the Lions quarterback Jared Goff. And at number 10 is Chicago Bears quarterback Caleb Williams. Now, some of the names that were left off the list. You have last year's Super Bowl winning quarterback Seattle Seahawks Sam Darnold. Other honorable mentions include Washington Commanders' Jaden Daniels, Green Bay's Jordan Love, San Francisco's Brock Purdy, Tampa Bay's Baker Mayfield, and Jacksonville's Trevor Lawrence. Now, the one that I have the biggest gripe with is Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts. Hurts has been with the Eagles for 5 years and has a record of 51-16 in the regular season. He led the Eagles to a 14-1 record in 2022 and a Super Bowl appearance against the Kansas City Chiefs, in which he outplayed the number 2 quarterback on this list, Patrick Mahomes. Now, the Eagles lost that one, but they returned to the Super Bowl 2 years later, and they beat those same Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Now, the defense was great that year, do not get me wrong, but Hurts only had 5 incomplete passes in the Super Bowl, 221 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's been the model of consistency for the Eagles the last 5 seasons, playing with a different coordinator every single year, and I think he deserves to be in the top 10. I think being a winning quarterback involves more than just having a big arm. It's the intangibles as well, and I think Hurts has all of that.
Thanks for joining us on East Texas Sports Now. We'll catch you next time.